Well, I don't intend keeping you too long. We have indicated our gratitude to the speakers, and I reiterate that without naming them. Where I'll start is by saying how hugely impressed I have been by my fellow citizens this weekend. It's quite clear you're all extremely committed to the process and very dedicated to the work which lies ahead. And that is very reassuring and comforting for me and for the Secretariat and for everybody, and it's in the interests of the public, and that's the important point. I'm just going to say a few things. First of all, I just want to reiterate that the number of topics and the range of perspectives which we have to consider is vast, and that's very clear from what has happened over the last 10 hours in this room. The scale of the challenge in even identifying the issues was clearly shown in the feedback from the members today in our roundtable brainstorming session. And just as the Secretary said, this is something we have been grappling with from the outset, and I personally have been grappling with it since I took up the position as chair. And I think it's worth noting that the challenge is to find a right balance, a correct balance, both in terms of presenting each side of the debate and in terms of the appropriate amount of time to spend in a voluntary civic forum like this on what is a very difficult and emotive topic. The difficulties in achieving the proper balance cannot be underestimated. The task we have over the next 3 weeks when the Assembly meets is enormous. There's no doubt about that. It could overwhelm us, but we must remain steadfast in our commitment to fulfilling the task set for us by the Oireachtas. You've had your say today in what you want to hear more about, and the Secretary has given you some idea of our thoughts on it, and I can assure you that all of the suggestions you made today have been and will continue to be taken on board. We will reflect further on the programme, the remaining programme, on the 8th Amendment in the coming days, and we will publish a broad outline of the work programme for the remaining weeks on the website. Now, I do want to emphasise a broad programme. We won't be too specific at this stage, but you will get an overview of where we're going. Because the reality is that the work programme on the 8th Amendment is going to continue to evolve. The Assembly is an exercise in deliberative democracy, and we must endeavour to provide you, the citizens, with all of the information that you require to complete the task. And of course, dare I say it, we must also complete the work as promptly and as efficiently as possible. Now, obviously, in the two positions I've just mentioned, there's an inherent conflict. I've no doubt that as this process goes on, the Assembly will be criticised for not covering certain issues, and that perhaps all of the perspectives were not adequately addressed. Now, while this is not something which will be easily resolved, particularly in the light of the timetable the Oireachtas has given us, we will do our best to avoid that scenario. And I'm sure we will have your cooperation in that. As you know, we are committed to providing our report on the 8th Amendment in the first half of 2017, and I'm adamant that we will achieve that objective, and we must complete the remainder of the work within a year. Having said all of that, we can and we must do our best. Given the quality of the engagement this weekend, I feel that our best will mean, at a minimum, that the Oireachtas and the wider public will be much better informed and educated about the issues to be considered in this debate. Because, as you know, all our public sessions are being live streamed, and the public have access to the information I'm getting, the Secretariat is getting, and you're getting. And that's how it should be. The whole process should be transparent. Now, it is too early to consider what the Assembly's recommendations might be. We've a lot more work to do before we will get to that point. To help to inform the Assembly, I encourage everyone with an interest in the topic, and I'm talking to the public now, to encourage everyone with an interest in the topic to engage with our submissions process. There has been a strong interest to date. As I said yesterday, we've already received 600 submissions, but as provided for in the Assembly's rules and procedures, the Assembly must choose to hear oral presentations from representative groups and or individuals to assist in its deliberations following on from the submissions process. And we have taken on board your views today in relation to the advocacy groups whom we might call in to talk to us, and we'll consider that further. But of course, you will have a continuing input into this, and we will be relying on the assistance of the steering group to indicate whether we're going the right way or not. That's all in the future. Just having spoken to the public and requested their input, I just remind everybody that that goes to that very heart of deliberative democracy, and I will conclude the weekend on that note and wish you all the very best and season's greetings, because I won't be seeing you again until January. Thank you very much.